Hi, I'm Jim Thompson, and this is a continuation, if you will, of the presentation I made with regard to getting referrals. And in that presentation, I mentioned that I wanted to dig deep into some of the topics that I covered with regard to getting referrals from clients, and I simply did not have the time and promised you that I would do a supplemental video of about 15 minutes in length so that I could really dive deep into what some of these tips, tactics are for getting referrals from your clients. In the previous video, I talked about you're having a referral mindset, but if you really want to get referrals from your clients, you need to teach your clients how to have a referral mindset. Most clients do not even understand that you want referrals. And even if they understood that, they don't know how to give you referrals. So what we're going to be doing is exploring some ways that you can begin to teach your clients, train your clients to give you referrals. When you talk about getting referrals from your clients, they already know, they like, and they trust you from the work that you have done for them. That's a given. Now, as I said before, it's up to you to teach them how to give you referrals. And what we're going to do for the next few minutes is give you some tips, some strategies, some things you can do to actually begin teaching them how to give you the referrals you need to grow your practice. One of the most difficult things for attorneys is to actually ask clients for referrals. And let me give you a secret. It happens to every business owner. They have a problem asking for referrals. And guess what? I teach this stuff, and I have a problem sometimes asking for referrals. So you're not alone. So what I want to try and do is give you some, again, some tips and some strategies that you can use where you probably are not going to have to come right out and ask for referrals, although they will be inferred. And one of the best methods that I have seen is using your voicemail message. And it goes something like this on your outgoing voicemail. Hi, this is Jim. I'm sorry I can't take your call right now. But if you were referred, please let me know who referred you so that I might thank them. There's that word, referred. Your client hears that word. Every time that a client calls your office or a potential client calls your office, they're going to hear the word referred. They're going to begin to talk about referring and talk to you about referring to you. And this happens. And I've seen it happen over and over again where all of a sudden the client realizes, well, gee, maybe Jim does need referrals or wants referrals. Let me see what I can do to help him. And it starts that process going without you even having to ask. One of the things that I see so often is that attorneys will abandon their clients when they finish a matter for them. And I am not talking about the legal abandonment. I'm talking about the client walks out the door and you never even make contact with that client again. Even though you've done a great job for the client knows you, likes you, and trusts you, but he never hears from you, right? So why don't you start thinking in terms of connecting with your past clients and also connecting with more often with your current clients? And this is done in a non-salesy way. You can send a Christmas card, a Thanksgiving card, just a thank you for being a client of ours. Anything that will get you in front of that particular client. And then with current clients, you can send them information on their case and things of that nature. You need to start looking at who your past clients are, the ones you really want to connect with, make a list of them, and then start really connecting with them. Make a you're going to connect 3 or 4 times a week, something of that nature. But make sure you start that process because pretty soon you're going to find out that the client may call you back and say, "Hey, Jim, I haven't heard from you in a while. It was really great getting that Thanksgiving card or the birthday card or whatever you send." And that's what you are going to be doing. Everything I teach has to do with building a relationship and maintaining that relationship. So this is a great way to start that process. This is another area that can really reap magnificent rewards for you if it's done properly. Now, the questionnaire and the exit interview are basically the same. The primary difference is the questionnaire is primarily used when you have an ongoing matter, such as a divorce case or a personal injury case, something of that nature. And then the exit interview obviously speaks for itself. When you're finished with a particular matter for a client, you want to sit down with that client and talk to them. And here's some of the things I think you could say. And this goes both for questionnaires and exit interviews, and you can tailor it to whatever you want. But one of the things I would make sure you do is you have a legal pad there so that you can write down the answers. And the reason I say that is if you're asking questions of your client, and I only really want you to think of 2 questions right now, and then you can extrapolate on it. But if you're asking questions of your client wants to know that the answers he gives are important. So when you're writing them down, that shows that they're important to him. And one of the things that you can ask, both in the questionnaire and in the exit interview, is it goes something like this: Bill, our law firm is always trying to do better. We've developed a great relationship with our clients, and one of the reasons we've developed a great relationship is we ask our clients how we are doing with them. And I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. And the first question, obviously, is, how did we do? What did you really like that we did for you in our firm? And leave it open-ended. Let them talk, because you're going to find out a lot. And the next question is, don't ask them, what did we do wrong? Don't want to even go there. What you want to do is ask them, what could we do better? And please tell us everything that you think that we could do that would better serve our clients, serve you, serve our other clients. Again, this is open-ended, and you're going to find out an awful lot about how you've done with that particular client. Now, with testimonial letters, the questionnaires and the exit interviews lead right into the testimonial letters, and that's why I put them on the same slide. In a testimonial letter, you go from, you're finding out that the client really likes you in the questionnaire or the exit interview you're doing, and you say something like this to the client: well, John, it seems from the questions I've asked you and the way you've answered them, we really did a good job for you. And the client goes, yes, you did. I really appreciate, all of that you've done for me. And the next question you ask them: would you mind writing a testimonial letter for us? Most clients will say, yes, I would be glad to write the testimonial letter. But here is what happens. The client walks out the door. He has all the intentions in the world to write the testimonial letter for you. He's out the door and he forgets about it. Life happens. He doesn't want to forget about it. He still wants to write the testimonial letter. And all of a sudden, a week or 2 or 3 weeks go by and he still hasn't done it. So here is a suggestion I would share with you. If the client says yes, he'll write the testimonial letter, wait a week or 2. It depends on the client and this type of thing, but you know the clients better than obviously I do. But say 2 weeks go by and you haven't heard from the client, and you call John up and you say, John, I'm just checking on you said you'd write us a testimonial letter, and I haven't seen one from you, or depending on how well you know the client, but you say, I haven't seen a testimonial letter. Is there something I can help you with or whatever? And he's going to say, oh, Jim, God, I meant to do that, and I haven't had time, I forgot, or whatever his excuse is going to be. So then you come in and you say, would you mind if I wrote a letter, a testimonial letter for us, and send it over to you? And obviously you can make all the changes you want, but I just want to, put something before you and have you take a look at it. And, would that be fine with you? And most of the clients are going to go, oh man, that's great. I didn't want to do it anyway because I don't have the time. And if you send something over to me, that would be great. 90% of the time, that client is going to send it back to you unchanged. But here's the great thing. Some people will write a testimonial letter and say, well, Jim was great. He's a great golf buddy. He's this, he's that. You don't want to hear that stuff. What you want to hear is how you performed for this particular client. So you can then write the letter along those lines. And say whatever you want to say, and toot your own horn, quite frankly. Be careful about ethics and all that, but toot your horn. And again, the client, how they would probably respond. So bottom line is, write that letter, send it over to the client, and the client obviously will read it. And if he agrees with it, he'll sign it. Now, some clients may make a little bit of a change, but generally speaking, most of the time, the clients really appreciate that you took the time to write the letter, because he didn't have to do it. and you get to say what you want to say about your firm. And that is a great way to get a testimonial letter. Now you've seen this slide come up, and I'm sure you're saying, "Oh, I take my clients to lunch," but I want to give you a way to take a client to lunch with a twist. And this works really well for your clients that they're your business clients, not primarily your consumer clients, but your clients that you work with that are in business. And say you have a client, you know his birthday's coming up next week, and you give Bill a call and you say, "Bill, I know your birthday's coming up next week, and I want to take you to lunch. But I want to do something else for you. Would you invite 2 or 3 of your closest friends to have lunch with us so that they can celebrate your birthday?" What you have just done is said to this client, "Man, Jim really appreciates me. He wants me to bring 2 or 3 of my closest friends in for a lunch to celebrate my birthday. But there's one additional thing here. You are going to get to meet 2 or 3 of his most trusted friends. Most of them will probably be in business, and you will get to meet these uh, potential clients. They may not be clients for you because they may have their own attorneys, but you know what? They may be able to refer you from their source of friends, their source of associates. So you have, by taking this client to lunch, really established your network of 3 or 2 more clients that can then toot your horn about how great you were taking their friend to lunch. Think about that. That works great. This is one of my favorite ways that I share for you to get clients, and that is I want you to become the family lawyer. Not a family practice lawyer, but the family lawyer. In other words, you become the go-to lawyer for your clients. And let me explain or give you a little bit of a scenario of how this might work, because it'll bring you a ton of new potential clients and a ton of new potential referrals you can make to other attorneys. So you're an attorney and you just finished up a nice personal injury case with your client, Bill, and you have this conversation with Bill. It goes something like this: "Bill, um, I'm really pleased to represent you, and I think you'll agree we did a really good job for you." And of course, he agrees, et cetera, et cetera. And you say, "What I would like to have you think about is my becoming your family lawyer." And let me tell you what I mean by that. Anytime you have a problem, or any member of your family has a problem, or any of your associates or friends or relatives have a problem, a legal problem, but don't define a legal problem. If they have some problem that they talk to you about, you don't know whether it's legal or not legal, I want you to give me a call. And I'll talk to you about it, and we'll find out what's going on. And if need be, I will have you bring that person into my office. So let me give you kind of a nice little scenario again how this works. Your client calls you up and he says, "Jim, my sister's having some domestic problems, some problems with her husband. She doesn't know what to do, and she's having all kinds of problems, and she's really worried. And can you help her?" And I say, "Absolutely. Bring her into the office. Let me see. I look at my calendar. Can you come in tomorrow at 10 o'clock? Yes." So he brings his sister in at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? So you sit down with her, you find out a little bit about what's going on. Now, you're a personal injury lawyer, and you know just a little bit about divorce law, just enough to be dangerous. But you can't help her, obviously, and don't want to help her. But here's what you do. You say to her, "I'm a personal injury lawyer and I don't do divorces, but I have some really good friends of mine that are divorce lawyers that are excellent. And would it be okay if I referred you to one of them?" And of course, she's going to say yes. So you do something like this, and this goes along with how well you've become known as far as giving referrals and getting referrals from other lawyers. So you call up a divorce lawyer who a good friend of yours, or someone you've referred to before, and you call them up, and you probably won't get them on the phone, but if you do, or you get a secretary, you say something like this, "John, I'm sitting here with a really good client of mine, and his sister he brought his sister in who's having some domestic problems, some problems with her husband, and she's worried. She doesn't know what's going on. Is there any chance you could see her?" So you've kind of either set this up before, or the secretary you've talked to before, so they have a good feel for what you're doing. And you talk to them for a little bit, and then you say to your client's sister, could you go in and see them at 11 o'clock tomorrow? Yeah, yeah, she can do that because she wants to get something resolved. And you say, okay, well, I will give her all the directions and everything to get to your office, but put her down for 11 o'clock tomorrow, and I'll tell her where to go and all the other stuff. And really, thanks for taking the call. So when the call hangs up, you sit down and you say, well, we've got that all taken care of. And oh, by the way, I want to tell you one other thing. Since I am referring you over to my good friend, he will not charge you any type of consultation fee. So your consultation, you can ask all the questions you want. Your consultation fee will be complimentary because I am referring you. Now, I want you to think about what just happened. Your client brought his sister in. Your client thinks you hung the moon because you took care of him and you took care of his sister and you were available to his sister. Not many lawyers would do something like that. So you want to stand out above the rest of the lawyers out there. So his sister thinks you hung the moon because her brother was able to get an appointment, or she thinks her brother hung the moon because her brother was able to get an appointment with you. She thinks you hung the moon because you took the time to talk to her, and then you turned around and you got her an appointment with an attorney. And not only did you get an appointment, but you got a free consultation. And she's going to certainly tell her friends just what a great lawyer you are. And she's going to tell her friends what a great brother she has. Do you see what's going on here? Now, you've also been able to refer a case out to another attorney. And hopefully that attorney, as you build the relationships with other attorneys, and we're going to talk about building relationships and getting referrals to and getting referrals from and giving referrals to attorneys in another short video I'm going to do. But now you have cemented that relationship with the attorney, and hopefully he's going to reciprocate with you. So do you see how this works? And do you see, thinking in terms of what I've just told you, how many potential clients are out there that one client can bring to you? I hope that you have found some value in this presentation, and I know I had to go through it very quickly to get it done inside of 15 minutes, and I think I achieved that. But I want to share something else with you. If you found any of these thoughts or suggestions or tips uh, that you want to try and you didn't quite understand it, I want to make this offer to you. I've got two books. You see them there, Overruled, which is basically how to get referrals from clients, and the other book is How to Get Referrals from Other Attorneys. You can go on my website, www.lawyersmarketingresource.com. And when you go on that website, on the first page, it'll show you how you can get free copies, PDF copies of those books. And I would suggest that you get the books and you take a look at some of the things we've talked about. Obviously, some of the things I couldn't really extrapolate on, they're in the book, and you may find some other things in there that can be beneficial to you. So again, I hope you found value in this, and I am going to be doing another short video on how you can get more referrals from fellow lawyers. So watch for that.